Hi everyone, it's Debbie with Book and Bujo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you for joining me today for June's TBRopoly. Let's play! To start, let's go over all of the books from TBRopoly for May and see if I get a reward or a punishment. First off, I had a reward, and that was to count a book I've already started, even if I only have a couple pages left. And I did use this one, and we'll get to that one when I get to that prompt. My first roll was a 26 in 2026, and that was to read Heavenly Bodies, and that is by Amani Iru, and I did read that. My next roll was an even card, and that was a random color generator, and I got green. And for this one, I read episode 13 by Craig DeLuey, and I did finish that. Roll number 3, I landed on nonfiction, and I decided to choose The Anti-Inflammatory 30-Day Reset by Sophie Richards. And I had started this, I was, let's see, I was on page 30, so not very far into it. And I am currently here, so on page 78, and this portion of it here, this part, are recipes. And so I have this much of the book left to read, and now I will be reading through all of the recipes as well, because there's little blurbs and things like that. And I always read cookbooks from front page to back page. Every single solitary thing that is in there I do read, but it won't take me as long as if it was like a full book. So getting through the rest of this will be super easy, and I will definitely have this done in the next few days. And that is the one I used my reward for because I was already on page 30. I could have gone back and just reread that whole section, but I kind of skimmed through it and was like, I remember everything that I read from that, so I'm not going to reread it. So that worked well with my reward. Next, I landed on Booktuber Rec, and I chose Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger, and this has been all over BookTube, but specifically I've seen it on Stephanie's Bookverse. And I am currently about just over halfway, so we'll say about 55% of the way through, and I still have a week left before June. I will definitely finish this, probably finish it in the next couple days. Next, I landed on the classics space, and I read Rilla of Ingleside by Lucy Maud Montgomery. And this is the 8th and final book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and I loved that. And then finally, I got an even card, and that was to read a graphic novel, and I read Sheets by Brenna Thumler, and that was really good. I enjoyed that. And that means I completed my TBR, and I get a reward. So let's find out what my reward for June is going to be. All right, do I get a reward or a punishment for June? Well, for June, I pretty much finished all of my books. I'm still in the middle of one of them, but it will be done by the end of May, so I get a reward. What will it be? Can do one re-roll or re-pick one prompt. Awesome. Now I just have to remember to use it. As you just saw, I got my reward, and that was I can do one re-roll or re-pick one prompt. Let's see if I actually use it, because most of the time I set them down and then completely forget that it's there. Someday, I hopefully today is the day I remember that it's there. Now let's see how many rolls I will be doing for June. For June, I was really only going to be doing one readathon, and then I succumbed to all the hype, and I added a second one, and now there's a third one. That one's actually not even a month-long one. It's like a week-long one, which I never do, but I got talked into doing it this time. So I'm going to roll my D10 instead of my D8 this time. So let's see how many rolls I will be doing for June. 2. Well, no. 6. Perfect. That's good. I like it. Thinking of rolling my D12 for this month. Let's just see what I get and see what happens. I got a 2 again. A 2 both times. Yeah, no. 3. Okay, we're going to stick with the 6. What if I did the D20? 14, I think, is going to be too much. Okay, stick with the 6. And I did use my reward from May, so I don't have any others carrying over, so it's just the 1. And this is where I landed last time, and actually we're going to do 7 rolls, because I think I said last month, since I skipped the NetGalley spot, I just went right on by here, and yeah. So I'm going to add an extra roll for that one, so I'll be doing 7 rolls for this round. Okay, so there's a whole lot of stuff that happened with the choosing rolls. So the first time I rolled a 2. I'm not just going to pick 2 books. I got to have more structure than that. Like I want more prompts and things like that than just 2. So I rolled again and I got a 6. I'm like, perfect, 6 works. And I was like, you know, I've got a couple of readathons that have a lot of prompts. Let's just go ahead and roll the D12. And of course, then I got a 2 again. I'm like, what? So I rolled again, I got a 3. I'm like, no. So I decided to roll the D20 and I got a 14. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do the 6 rolls and then we'll see how I feel afterwards. And I may do all 14 rolls and then, but I only need to complete the 6. Maybe that'll be the thing. So let's see what I end up doing. I still thought that was funny. I'm like, how am I rolling all these 2s? Like, why is it a 2 for the first roll of every die? Very strange. So thank you, D20, for picking me 14. Okay, so I'm still going to start here. And here's my kind of, I don't know, not really a punishment roll, but we'll call it a punishment roll for counting improperly last time. And that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Special editions. So here's my special edition jar. And let's see. What am I going to pick? I need to, oh, well, there we go. That one. I need to update that because I have more than this. Oh, Mother of Learning. Awesome. That's a good one. And of course, I did not forget, I need to take a punishment roll for kind of skipping over that space last month when I just, you know, slid right by that one spot and kept counting. So I subconsciously didn't want to land on NetGalley again, apparently. So I am going to do an extra roll for that one. So my first roll will be my kind of like punishment roll, and then I will do the 6 to 14 after that. Punishment roll. I got a special edition, which is awesome. And then I pulled that one out, and that was Mother of Learning. And this one I can put back in because there are 4 books that I have. You can see them here for Mother of Learning. I have read Arc 1, so now I'm up to Arc 2, and these are hefty. I mean, there's a lot of pages, but they're heavy too. Yeah. So what is this? Oh, I do kind of like that they have note pages in the back, so in case you want to annotate and write some notes and things like that. It's lovely. Oh, and a map. I love this one. Okay, so let's see. We've got 662 pages. Nothing like starting off one that doesn't quite count. That's a big one. So that's the front. We have these beautiful end pages. So my special edition jar has special editions, but it also has regular Kickstarter books too that don't necessarily have, you know, like the sprayed edges and all the foil and like all that kind of stuff. They're just really nice normal editions too. But which is what this one, it seems like it's not so special because it doesn't have sprayed edges, but it's beautiful. I love it. And so yeah, Arc 2, Mother of Learning by Tomasz Kurmiak. All right, let's move into roll number 1 of actual gameplay. All right, roll number 2. We're off to a good start so far. 10. So I guess technically this is the first actual roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A nonfiction. I landed on nonfiction, and for this one I decided to go with the book club pick for the well-read book club with Carolyn Marie Reads. And this one is The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. Don't know much about it, but my library does have it, so I'm excited to give it a try. Roll 2 of 6, and that is a 3. 1, 2, 3. So odd card. Randomize your TBR. Roll number 2 was an odd card, and that was to randomize your TBR. And here's the spinner wheel. I ended up getting Camp by Lev Rosen, and this is the group book for Camp SeasonAthon. All right, roll 3 of 6. 4. Chugging right along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even card. And that is to read an ebook. Wow, these are nice, vague, broad prompts. Nice. Next, I landed on an even card, and that was to read an ebook, which is amazing because I have a lot of them. And I decided to continue my Herkiad journey of challenge myself and try and finish that square. And I'm going to be reading Heavy Lies the Crown by Ben Galley, and this is the second book in the Scalusan Chronicles. All right, roll 4 of 6. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A challenge card. Move ahead 5 spaces. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. TBR jar. I did clean some of the old stuff out of here that I've already read. So let's see. Oh, we had a whole bunch fall out too. Well, so do I pick this one, which was in my hand, or you know what? I'm just going to put them all back in and try it again. This one. Nine-tailed. No idea what that is. Next, I landed on challenge card, and that was to move ahead 5 spaces. And this one ended up being a TBR jar. And so I pulled out my first one, and a whole bunch fell out too. So I decided to just put them all back in there and redraw. And I ended up getting nine-tailed, and I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that is. So I looked it up, and it's by J.C. Lee. And still, you know, the cover doesn't really give much away, except that there is a little fox spirit in here, down here at the bottom, if you can see that. And so this is definitely going to have some kind of Asian mythology of the fox shifter in it. So that'll be fun. Something different. All right, roll 5 of 6. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 26 in 2026. Wonderful. Spellmaker. That's a good one. It's the end of a duology. So I could use this for our fantasy bingo. Yes. Yay. Well, number 5 was 26 in 2026, which is amazing. Definitely want to try and get through all of these. And that is Spellmaker. And that's the second book in the duology by Charlie N. Holmberg. And this is exciting because, number 1, it's a 26 and 26 book that I'll be able to read. And it's a duology that I will be able to finish a series. So, amazing. Love it. And I think I have this. Do I have it? I don't think I have this in my 26 series to read, though. So, it doesn't help there. But it helps with a couple things. I'm just glad it'll be finishing off a series for me. I believe that the first book in the series is Spellbreaker. And this one is Spellmaker. And then roll 6 of 6. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 special editions again. And I passed start twice. So I need to make sure I write that down. So I'm at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm at 8. So 2 more. Okay, special edition jar again. Oh, I keep putting it, I keep trying to lay it upside down, but there's a mirror on that side. Don't want all the reflection. Okay, what are we going with? This one. I really should get all these stars out of here because I just struggle to open these. Like, I made them and I don't remember how they open. I always just end up ripping them. I feel like it should be tucked in right there, but it never is. There it is. Okay. So there's that part. Nothing on that. So just so you know, nothing on that one. And let's see what happens here. Aha. Did that help me? No. Seriously, I am horrible at these. Okay, there we go. Sky of Fire. Oh, I'm currently reading that. So I'm going to leave that here in case I don't finish it. And so if I don't finish it, I'll read this one. If I do finish it, let's pull another one and see what it's going to be. I should probably do another star just to get those out of here. So we don't have to suffer through me trying to figure out how to open these every time. Okay, so again, nothing there. Shorten this up a little bit here. Oh, Red Seas Under Red Skies. I have finished that series. Okay. This one. Oh, Pale Kings. I've read that one too. I finished that whole series. Okay, any other stars? Here, there's one more star in here. We'll just do this one. What is this one? These are the oldest ones, so that's good. And, oh, Dead Stars Part 2. That's the next book after. Yeah, that's the last book in the series, and I already finished that one too, so awesome. Cleaning out this jar. Is this just one, or is this 2? That's 1. Dead Stars, read that one. Okay. Now I got that whole series out of here. One more time. Ooh, Rift War Saga. So I'm up to Magician, I think is the first one. Awesome. And I just looked at my shelves, and since I have the series name in here, I would need to put Mother of Learning back in here because I'm on the second one. So there's 2 more after that. But really, this is all I have left. Nice. I'm almost caught up on my special editions. Now I do have a couple more coming. A couple of them I have already read, and then a couple of them I will need to add in here, but it's going to be a while before I get those. So for now, almost done. Next, I landed on special edition again, and this time I pulled out a Sky of Fire, and that's this one. And as you can see, I am currently reading this one. And I am here. So I'm a little over halfway, and I'm currently reading this one right now. So I will most likely finish it. If not, it'll be, you know, pretty close. So I'm like, well, I don't want to have it on there if I'm going to finish it. But in case I don't finish it, I want to make sure I have a chance to actually finish it. So I did pull again, and hopefully I can get both of them done. But of course, I got the Rift War Saga, and the first book in that series is pretty big. Let me pull it down. It is 845 pages long. Of course. Yeah, but I mean, look how stunning this edition is. Yeah, so beautiful. I love it. And I do really want to read this, and I believe I have access to the audiobook as well. So it'll go faster than it will if I'm reading the whole thing with my eyeballs, but I'm hoping to finish Sky of Fire in May, and if I do, then I will definitely be picking this one up. If I make no more progress on that one, on Sky of Fire, then I will pick that one up, but for now, it's this one. I'm hoping I can have both of them finished by the end of June, regardless of which one I end up using for June. Okay, now I could stop there because I did originally roll, well, sort of originally rolled a 6 after that weird 2. We'll just forget about the 2. Rolled the 6. But I'm like, is that really? I'm like thinking, you know, how big the books are already. And this isn't even all of them, because Heavy Lies the Crown is like 600 and something pages as well. So, I mean, they're all pretty big and beautiful fantasies for the most part. But, I mean, Camp SeasonAthon has like 12-ish prompts, I think. And then I'm also doing Wonderthon. I'm also doing the Tarot Readathon. I love my team scientists for Escape the Readathon, but they are making me want to do all these other readathons. And in June, I was just planning on doing Camp SeasonAthon and then just catching up on a whole bunch of stuff. Well, that ain't happening now. Maybe that'll be for July. We'll save that for July. I want to finish series, try and catch up on series and try and finish that. And typically June is kind of when I do that, but maybe we'll move that to July. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll call these loosely optional. Sort of optional. Yeah, I have to finish the first 6. If I don't finish the rest of these, the other 8, then that's okay. Yeah? We'll see what the end of the month brings. Roll number 7. So roll 7 of 14. That would be a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even card. And that is most anticipated read. I got an even card, and that was to read my most anticipated book. I'm like, what do I have? I have a few. I mean, some of the ones that are already on from the first 6 prompts are very highly anticipated. But there's one that I've heard a lot about, and it's been on my previous Horror Bingo Readathon, but I ended up not reading it, so I put it on this year's Horror Bingo Readathon, and that is Chlorine by Jade Song. So I've heard great things about it. I don't necessarily know many details about the book. Again, I like to go into my books blind for the most part. I don't really want to know much about them, so I don't read synopsises or anything like that, but I'm very excited about getting into this one, although I've heard it's not necessarily light and fluffy. But then again, it's a horror, so why would it be? Okay, roll 8 of 14. 3. 1, 2, 3. Amazon borrow. All right, so let's roll my D10, and that is a 7. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be Not Quite by the Book by Julie Hatcher. Next, I landed on Amazon Borrows, and then I rolled my D10 and got a 7. And that was Not Quite by the Book by Julie Hatcher. And this one looked really cute. I believe it's fairly short. Let me see. 313 pages, not too bad. And yeah, don't really know much about this one, but it looks adorable, and it has books on the cover, which is always fun. Well, 9 of 14. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's an odd card. A small book under 300 pages. Perfect. Roll number 9 was an odd card, and that was to read a small book under 300 pages. Thank you. Perfect. And for this one, I'm going to read Upright Women Wanted. That one's hard to say with all those R's and W's in there for me. Upright Women Wanted. And that is by Sarah Gailey. And this is the book club book pick for the In Other Words book club with Amanda from the Reading and Writing Life. Roll 10 of 14. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Another odd card. A raven or snake on the cover. I do like that prompt. Next was another odd card, and that was to read a book with a raven or a snake on the cover. And I was like, I know I have a lot. What is there? I wonder what I could possibly find that has a raven or a snake on that's been on my TBR forever, and book club book picks that I haven't read because I didn't have access to it from my library, and yet now I know I have access to it, and it just keeps sitting there and I keep forgetting about it. And well, that would be The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. Roll 11 of 14. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another odd card. Most recent purchase. Ooh, I know what that is. Next was another odd card, and that was my most recent purchase. And well, what book happened to come in the day that I picked these? Well, that would be Demon's Ruin by David Estes and Ben Galley, the third book in the Bloodwood saga. And this is a brand new release. I had pre-ordered it and it just arrived just in time for TBRopoly. And 650 pages for that one, in case you were wondering. Roll 12 of 14. 3. Crazy. 1, 2, 3. Another odd card. How have we not gotten a double yet? Should I say anything or not? A book with sprayed edges. Ooh, that kind of limits what I have. Oh, no, I think I know exactly what I'm going to use for that. Roll number 12. Another odd card. And that was to read a book with sprayed edges. Well, that was easy because it's a book that I've been meaning to read for a while now, and look at those beautiful sprayed edges. And that is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, and this one is just over it's like 613 pages, somewhere in there, so not too bad. She says as she eyes her stack of over 600 page books from the corner of her eye. And that's not counting the ones on this. June will now be big book month. I know we have the Mammoth Readathon, I believe typically is in the summer. I could be wrong. That one's really fun. It's to read your big old tomes during the month. So I think I'm going to be incorporating that this month as well. Don't say it, because I know I chose to do this. It's my own fault that I have all these big books, but I'm excited about it because they're on my 26 and 2026 list, my 13 chunky reads list, my series list, all of that. This is going to be checking off so many boxes if I can get all of these read. And you know I'm going to be doing some sprints too in June so I can get through all these. Okay, roll 13 of 14. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I passed start again. Go ahead and write that in here. And that is Readathons. What we got? Ooh, Herkiad. Perfect. Need that one. Just got a couple books left. Roll number 13 was Readathon, and that was to read a Herkiad book. And I was like, perfect. I've got a couple of those now because Demon's Ruin and Heavy Lies the Crown both work for my challenge space. And for this one, it's going to work for the new release section because this one is going to be released in June, and that is The Quitters Club. And this one is by Jessica Strasser. And again, I know I mentioned it when I got this to begin with. I thought it was The Quilters Club. Yeah, no. It's The Quitters Club. It's just a contemporary, but it'll be fun. Okay, and then lastly, 14 of 14. A 5. Like crazy, 14 rolls and not one of them was a double. Technically 15 rolls. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another Amazon borrow. Let's go ahead and get my D10 out. And that's a 3. We have 1, 2, 3. The Bordeaux Book Club. Oh, apparently it wants me to read books about books. And then lastly, roll number 14. How did I do 15 rolls and not a double to be seen? Very interesting. This is like the year that TBRopoly's like, no, I don't want to give you any doubles, whatever. I'm tired of doubles. Meh. So watch July be full of doubles, right? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but so roll number 14, I landed on Amazon borrows again, and for this one I rolled a 3, and that was The Bordeaux Book Club by Jillian Harvey, and this one has been on there for a while, so it's a good thing that I'm getting to it. Okay, I know this isn't all of them. This is just a few, and only one of these I'm going to read. The other one hopefully will be done, but I mean, just think of this stack here, but again, here... with all of the books that I have on here that are also on here. This is gonna be so much fun, but I don't have rehearsals. It's summertime. It's gonna be a great month for reading big books. But again, you know, that ain't all I'm reading. So let's go ahead and move into book clubs. So we'll start with the Catch-Up Book Club. And the book for May and June is The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne, and that is the third and final book in the Bloodsworn saga. And I finished that one in May, so that one is done. For the Game of Tomes Book Club with Carolyn Marie Reads and Emmy, we are reading Anne of Green Gables series kind of throughout the summer. And again, I just completed that one in May, so that one is done. For the Goobers Who Read Book Club, we are reading Dark Rise by C.S. Passat, or is it Pacat? This one. And I'm excited about this one because it's been on my TBR for quite a while. Next, we have the Hardcore Literature Book Club with Benjamin McAvoy. And the book for this summer, like the additional book, it's kind of like the whole summer, so it's not like you have to read all of them in 1 month, but this one is one that was originally on for last year, but he had to push it back to this year because he had a baby and wanted to spend time with his family and that kind of thing. So they took it out of last year's and moved it to this year. And I actually started reading it last year and I DNF'd it. So I did not put it back on my TBR, but if for some reason I have time, I may put it back on and just try it again. And that is Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. Again, you know, 600, 700, 800 page book, something like that. It's fine. But yeah, I don't really plan on reading the whole thing, but we'll see. For the Well-Read Book Club with Carolyn Marie Reads, the theme for this month is nonfiction, and we will be reading The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. And then for In Other Words with Amanda from the Reading and Writing Life, we are reading Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. And there are no read-alongs. I am done with all the read-alongs, so that's good. And then lastly, we have the Boundless Book Club with This Story Ain't Over. And the June books, we have This Queer Arab Family by Elias Joshin, and my library does not have that one. So hopefully I will find that one sometime later in the year. And that was the nonfiction pick. And for the fiction pick, it's The Bruising of Gilwa, and that is by Nassim Jamnia. And my library does have that one, so I will be reading that one. So then we move into the year-long readathons. Buzzwordathon. A one-word title. I actually have a few options for this one, but I went with Camp by Lev Rosen since that's the group book for Camp SeasonAthon. For the cover prompt, it's wings, and so you have to have something with wings on the cover, and I was like, oh yes, right there, look at that. The Grace of Kings. Lots of opportunities to put all of those books from my TBR in here. Year in Aldia with Gia Book Roast. Luminara was at 5A and she is now moving to 6A and needs to find an exit. A book over 500 pages. I was like, sweet, I got plenty of those. And for that, I chose Heavy Lies the Crown by Bengali, and this one is 588 pages. Although I could definitely switch it to Magician since that one's over 800. For Castian, he finished at 5D and is now moving on to 6D, and that is to Sketch a Sundancer, a book featuring fantasy creatures. And I was like, oh, well, also easy, a lot of them. But I went with Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, because there are definitely lots of creatures all over this book, so there's gotta be fantasy creatures in here of some kind. And then we move into TBR Knockout with Completely Melanie. And this is, of course, Pride Month for June. And so we need an LGBTQIA+ book. And for that one, I'll be reading Chlorine by Jade Song. And a queer author, and I will read Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. Moving to Year of Goober with the Goobers Who Read Book Club. And the first prompt is a book less than 300 pages. Sweet. For this one, I put on The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. The second prompt is a book over 500 pages. Again, easy. And for that one, I went ahead and put Magician by Raymond E. Feist, the first book in the Rift War saga. And now we move into yearly challenges. Let's start with Lost in the Library. here's my rolls. My last roll was in the manga graphic novel section. That's where I'm going to start for June. So let's go ahead and do the first roll. A 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, TBR book. 1, 2, 3, renewal. 2, 3, already done that one. Or, oh, I forgot to color these in. I've already done those. I am all caught up on all of the rooms or spaces that I've landed on. And I try not to land on any spot twice, just so I can actually hit all of the spaces. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, already done. So I guess there's really only 1, 2, 3 already done. So I guess there's just the 2. So either renewal or TBR. Okay, I think I'm going to go to renewal. I have done this one over here, but I think, well, have I done a TBR? I don't think I've actually done it. Oh no, I did do a TBR space here. Okay, so that's good. I could do either one. So I'm going to go ahead and go to renewal. So 1, 2, 3. And that one is reread a book or read a book from a favorite author or an author you've read before or get a book from the library. So that one should be pretty easy. All right, roll number 2. Oh, 1. Well, I've done that one already. So I guess it's a book on the cover. All right, roll number 3. A 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done that one. Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can do TBR. Move back to, so immigrant or refugee main character. That might work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. 4, 5. Move back 1. Done that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Black author. 2, 3, 4, 5. Fast or slow. Oh, I'm not going to land in a room this time. Okay, I think I'm going to go... Where is it? I think I'm going to go with the immigrant refugee main character. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be move back 2. Then takes me to the immigrant refugee spot. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Roll number 1, I chose renewal, and that was pretty much to read an author you've read from before, get a book from a library, something like that. And I decided to go with Mother of Learning by Arc 2 by Domagoj Kermiak. Roll number 2 was a book with a book on the cover, and that's easy. I mean, I have 2. The Bordeaux Book Club could work for this, but I decided to go with not quite by the book since there's multiple books. She's reading a book inside of a book, which is stacked on top of a book. Yeah, so there's 3 books there too. Perfect. And then lastly, third roll, immigrant or refugee main character. And I did look it up just to make sure. And Heavy Lies the Crown by Ben Galley, the second book in the Skluson Chronicles, does work for this because pretty much they're all refugees at this point, all of the main characters in the book. For TBR Trek, I did complete all of the prompts and did get them submitted for Team Dryad for May. And for June, I don't know quite yet. I believe the live show is going to be on Sunday, so I won't find out for a few more days. And then we have the Bridge 4 challenge. Okay, I haven't quite figured out all the Bridge 4 ones yet. Let's see if we can figure them out real quick. For foreplay, the first book has to be a book that has the workplace heavily featured. And this one, I don't know. I'm going to assume not quite by the book, but we'll see when I read it if it actually fits or not. So this one will be subject to change. The second one is a book that features a battle, military, or a pack. And well, this one's actually pretty easy. Heavy Lies the Crown by Ben Galley. It's a pack of refugees, pretty much. Definitely battles and sort of military. They were military at one point, so, but refugees now, so yeah. So, the leaders anyway. Next is set in medieval times or medieval-like times. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. If you have any suggestions of ones that you like that you think I might like, leave them in the comments. And then we have a legendary weapon or weapon on the cover. And I'm pretty sure at least one of the books that I have definitely has one of those two things. But I'm gonna go with Demon's Ruin, and actually his weapon is the demon. But they also have elemental magic, so he's got the fire, and they also have, you know, water, earth, all of that. So those are the weapons, and he does have the fire on the cover, which is his weapon. It's not a weapon in the traditional sense, but that's what works in the book. I mean, I have 3 books that use magic as weapons, so I could really use any of those ones. Traditional weapons on the cover, I don't know if I have any. I usually have a lot, but I don't know if I have any this time. Well, I'm gonna go with Demon's Ruin, and then we'll go from there. And then lastly, a book that features spells or magic. Well, most of the books that I'm reading this month have that. So we've got Mother of Learning, we've got Magician, of course it's in the name, I've got Spellmaker, Demon's Ruin, we have Heavy Lies the Crown. All of those have magic in them. The Grace of Kings probably does as well, I don't know. And then we have A Journey Through the Stars, and this time it's Lumen is the place where we are. And the first prompt is unusual animal, magical creatures, or whimsical beings. Well, I already have this one on for another prompt that is similar, so The Grace of Kings. And if there aren't magical creatures in here, Heavy Lies the Crown most definitely has dragons. Next, a character in STEM, science heavily featured, or nonfiction about science and medicine. Well, the only nonfiction I have is The Soul of an Octopus. And I don't know quite yet if that's going to be more of a science-based or more of a humanities kind of book. So we'll see. Maybe that one. So this one is a little up in the air as well. I'm hoping The Soul of an Octopus will work, but not sure. And then the last one for Journey Through the Stars is a lighthearted or cozy story. And I'm sure I have quite a few of them. I'm going to go ahead and go with either the Bordeaux Book Club, maybe the Quitters Club. One of those might be kind of fun. We also have The Soul of an Octopus if it doesn't work for the other one. I'm not sure about Camp, maybe. Ninetail, not sure about that one either. So one of those. For now, I'm going to go with the Bordeaux Book Club, and then we'll go from there. And then lastly for Bridge 4, we are going to Saturn on Starbridge. So this one, I think, is going to be a little harder to just kind of on the fly plan it out, but we'll see what's going on. So we have, the first one is a word in the title that starts with the letters H-E. That starts with the letters. So I have Mother, which has H-E in them, but it's at the end. Oh, that was easy. It was like the 3rd book that I looked at. Is there any others? I think it's the only one. I thought that was going to be so much harder. And that is Heavy Lies the Crown by Ben Galley. It's the first word. Perfect. I actually switched this book to An Emporium of Hearts by Haley Turner. Now this is where it's going to trip me up because I need to actually look it up on Goodreads, but it does say the next one needs to have 100 less reviews on Goodreads or Storygraph than the first book. And the first book's Heavy Lies the Crown, so I need to figure out how many ratings are on that one to figure out the next book. Hold please. Okay, so Heavy Lies the Crown. I couldn't find how many ratings are on Storygraph, just how many reviews, and there were 17 reviews. But on Goodreads, there's 303 ratings. The closest I got was a book that had 1,000 and some odd ratings. All the rest were above. The other closest one I could get is there was 1 rating because it just came out, and that's Demon's Ruin. An Emporium of Hearts by Haley Turner has 424 ratings on Goodreads. And as I just said, Heavy Lies the Crown has 303 ratings, so that makes it around 100 ratings less. So I'm going to switch it from Demon's Ruin to Heavy Lies the Crown. And then the next one is the main character has a different sexual orientation as the main character in book 2. Awesome. In Demon's Ruin, he does have a girlfriend, so he is heterosexual. But I do have 2 books that I know for sure that the main character is queer, which is amazing, and that is Chlorine by Jade Song and Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. Now this is where it gets tricky. Prompt number 4. The author has reversed initials from the author in book 3. So that would be Jade Song, so JS would have to be an SJ. I don't have one. I have an SG, which is close. I have an SM, and that's it. The other one is Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey, so that would be SG. So that would be a GS. The only thing I have is a GH, so Jillian Harvey for the Bordeaux Book Club. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. Not sure yet, which also means I can't figure out the last prompt yet because that's 100 to 200 pages less than book number 4, which that shouldn't be too hard. Okay, now we move into the month-long readathons. Firstly, we have Camp SeasonAthon with Melanie from Completely Melanie, and I am on the turquoise team again this year. Very excited for that. So I did kind of outline all the spots that are our prompts for Team Turquoise or Cabin Turquoise. The purple and pink cabins both have some of them are the same and some of them are different prompts. So like Turquoise Cabin does not have the theater, but the other pink and purple cabins both have that one. So they have a prompt there. Same with the zip line, the music studio. So I don't necessarily need to read for those prompts, but they will. So if you are in a different cabin, make sure you check out the other hosts' videos to find out what all of those prompts are. For the Turquoise Cabin, prompt number 1 is the garden, flowers on the cover. And I actually had a couple books that have flowers on the cover, but this one stood out the most, and that's The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. And we got flowers there and down here, at least petals down at the bottom. Number 2, Outhouse, your lowest rated book. And I did look that up, and I actually think I had 2, and 3.55 was the lowest rated, and that's Not Quite by the Book by Julie Hatcher. Our personal cabin, for Turquoise Cabin, we need to join Melanie's sprints and be on for at least half an hour and, be interactive, like actually chat in the comments and things like that. So that will give you points for your team. And then the assembly hall, read the group book. So all of these prompts are worth 1 point, except for the group book, that is worth 3. And that is Camp by Lev Rosen. And then you also want to join the author chat with Lev, and that is on Saturday, June 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we have the Fire Pit. Join one of the live shows on June 20th on Mel's channel. So we have the author chat, which is at 5 p.m. And then we have the After Hours live show at 8 p.m. Eastern. Those are always so much fun. The main office, read a book that has a found family trope, and that will be Spellmaker by Charlie N. Holmberg, the second book in the Spellbreaker series. The dining hall, food on the cover. Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey, and if you could see, there's a little cook pot down there with something cooking over the fire. So there's definitely gonna be food in there. So that's kind of what I picked at this point. Archery, weapon on the cover. And for this one, I chose Magician. And again, magic is a weapon, but I forgot. If you open it up, there's a dragon, and there's a dude with an axe right there. So if for some reason the magic as a weapon or demon as a weapon doesn't work, I can use Magician by Raymond E. Feist, the first book in the Rift War saga, for that prompt as well. Beach Volleyball, a book set outdoors. And for this one, I know there's a lot of outdoors in it, and that's Heavy Lies the Crown by Ben Galley, the second book in the Skulusan Chronicles. Next is The Lake, a body of water in the title. And for this one, I'll be reading Calypso, the Sea Witch by Paul Mouchet. And this one, I believe, is a short story that's part of a series. Basketball Court, book has a sport. Now, I looked this up, and the only book I saw that said it had a sport in it is Chlorine by Jade Song. Canteen, a small book or graphic novel. And I was going to put a graphic novel on here, and then I realized, you know what, I have a few small books, so less than 300 pages, so I'm going to go ahead and use one of those, and that it, instead of adding, yet another book, and that is The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. And that one is 262 pages. Dance Studio, freestyle, do a mood read. And for this one, I will most likely read Dark Rise by C.S. Passat. Climbing Wall, read an intimidating book. And for this one, I'm going to read The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. And the reason this is intimidating is because I hope I like it. Like, everybody loves this book, but what if I don't? I've also been trying to read this book for like a year, so hopefully it's worth it. And then we have Woodshop, a book with a building on the cover. And for this one, I will be reading, you could use Spellmaker because there's buildings on the cover for that one. But I'm going to go with The Bruising of Kilwa by Nassim Jamnia. Pottery Barn, a hand on the cover. And I will be reading The Quitters Club by Jessica Strasser. And there is one hand on the cover right there. The rest of them are kind of off screen, which is kind of funny. So she at least has one hand on the cover. And then that's it for Camp SeasonAthon. I'm so excited, and go Turquoise Cabin. This year, hopefully we win. Now we have the Tarot Readathon with Noelle 7 pages, and is so much fun. It's been at least a year. I didn't participate last year. I'm not sure about the year before that. I have participated 2 other times. I think this is their 5th year. I didn't know about it the first year. So I think I did the 2nd and 3rd and then skipped the 4th. And so this one would be the 5th year. And I am on Team Wand, which is going to be a lot of fun. And Steph Loves is one of our co-hosts for our team. And our element is fire and strength is energy, which love that. Each team has a 3-card spread that has alternate prompts, card swaps, and double prompts. So you can try and fit those to your cards as well to get some little extra goodies. But my pulls, I did 2 different 3-card spreads. And the first one was a 3 of Pentacles, and that was a book with an alliance or follows a group of characters. And with the alternate prompt for my team, and I'm hoping to finish the Skulusin Chronicles. So there's 3 books in it, so I'm hoping to finish that one. But with all the other big books, I may not get to it. But I did put this one on for this spot. And the team prompt is: a title begins with the first letter of this card, and my card was the 3 of Pentacles, so it has to start with a T, but then there's an asterisk that says ignore a, an, or the in book titles. And all of the books on my TBR, the T is a the. So that's why I'm putting this one on, and that's To Kill a God by Bengali, the 3rd book in the Skulusin Chronicles. But that will also help me complete my square for Herkied for the My Challenge space. So hoping to get to that one. I have to be doing a lot of reading. I'm glad I have some audiobooks for these as well. That'll help. The team's 2nd card is a card swap. So we can draw 1 more card. So basically draw 2 cards and then choose between the 2 for which prompt you want to fulfill. So I did pull the Sun, and I pulled the 6 of Wands. Now I'm not sure if we need to read these in order. If we do, then I need a different book than the one I originally chose. And I would then choose The Raven Scholar. I believe this one has politics or political intrigue in it, but I could be wrong. Let me know down below in the comments if it does not have political intrigue, but I'm pretty sure it does. And I'm pretty sure The Magician, The Grace of Kings, a few of those probably do as well. I'd originally chosen Heavy Lies the Crown by Bengali, but this is the 2nd book in the series. And the first card, I chose the 3rd book in the series. So I don't want to read them out of order. And if you need to read the cards in order, then I would need The Raven Scholar. But if I can read them out of order, then I will choose Heavy Lies the Crown. And then my 3rd card was Justice. And for the team card for this, you can double points for a book that not only matches this card's prompt, but also has a verb in the title. So my prompt for Justice is book by a BIPOC, queer, or disabled author. And then if there's a verb in the title, then I get double points. And for this one, I chose The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, and I did look it up. and grace can be used as a verb. So there we go. My second 3-card spread, the first one was the Ace of Pentacles, and that is to buy or borrow a book off your wish list and read that. And unfortunately, none of the books on my TBR start with an A, because the Ace of Pentacles, to use my team's card as extra, I can't use that because I have no books that start with an A, but I did choose Demon's Ruin by David Estes and Bengali because this is the most recent book that I have purchased that has been on my wish list. And then card 2 for that spread, I picked 2 again, and that was the Tower and the Ace of Wands. I decided to go with the Ace of Wands, and that is a book you can't stop thinking about or is highly anticipated. And for this one, I am going to choose Dark Rise by C.S. Passat. This has been on my TBR basically since it came out. But there's actually quite a few that I could put in here on my TBR for this month. Mother of Learning, Arc 2, that one actually would be really good for this spot too. I may actually change this up and put Mother of Learning Arc 2 on here instead, because I have been waiting to get to this book since it was a web series before I even got the Kickstarter one. So I think I'm going to change it up and put Mother of Learning Arc 2 on here by Damagaj Kermiak. And then lastly, my third card in the second set is the Ten of Cups. And for this one, it features found family, belonging, or strong community. And I'm going to use the same book that I used last time Found Family came up, and that is Spellmaker by Charlie N. Holmberg. And then lastly is Wonderthon. Now, I don't typically participate in readathons that are less than a month long. I usually like to have the whole month to get things done. This one's only, it was a week or two. I think it starts June 12th. So I think it's a half month. So June 12th to like June 28th or something like that. Don't quote me on those dates, but it's around there. And I still do not quite know exactly what's happening with this readathon. I've only looked at a couple of spots, but I know that I am on Team Roberts. Go Team Roberts, and our captain is Amanda from the Reading and Writing Life, which is going to be amazing. And our colors are yellow and orange, so we get extra points if our book covers have yellow or orange on them, which luckily a few do. And that's the extent pretty much of what I really know. But we do have the looting map, which is kind of like a Scrabble board, and I have started inputting my books here to try and figure out exactly how I can get the most points here for my team. There are a couple I still need to move around a little bit because you can only go from top to bottom, so you can't go spell a word upwards. It has to be, top to bottom, or left to right, so you can't spell a word this way. It has to only be that way. And you can't go diagonal, and you can only use one word from each book. So if I have Mother of Learning, I can't use Mother and Learning or of. I can only use one of those 3 words. So I have a couple on here I need to take off and switch with a different one. Luckily, I have quite a few books that have the word the in it. So if I need to be all creative about filling in an extra box, I can do that. But you have to start here. So whatever your first word is, you have to start there. And then the yellow squares are double points. And you can only use, like say I have a word going this way through this word box and this way through this box, you can only use it once. So it only works for that one word. So that is kind of the extent of where I am on that readathon right now. But there's still some time, and I figure if I kind of hang out in the Discord for a little while, my team will let me know what's what and what I need to do. But the announcement video has all the information you need. It was just, when I went to watch that, it was just a lot, and it was a little too much at the time. So I've been going back and just like looking at one part at a time. So that's why the looting map, I started there and kind of went from that. So if you're someone who likes to set their TBR, stick to their TBR and read through to the end, then the looting map is a good one for you. And since that's pretty much what I do, I figured that's the best way I could help my team. So that's kind of where I've been focusing. But there's also quite a few other things that you can do. I think there's like a bingo style board in there. There's a navigating map, which would be kind of fun. And I know that my Team Robert, has some kind of bonus if we do that one. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So please come and encourage me to keep reading all of the massive books that I have on my TBR. And yeah, to stay motivated to keep reading. And thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you all in sprints in June. And if you made it this far in the video, leave some kind of purple emoji in the comments to let me know that you were here. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!